Well, this is Bill Steffen. Thanks for joining us, and happy birthday, USA! 249 years and going strong. At least it's pretty strong. Hey, I tell you what, I've got on my Coast Guard T-shirt from the Coast Guard Festival. That's coming up here in about the month, but it's got red, white, and blue on it. I think all you can see is the white on it. There's a little bit of blue and red there, but feeling kind of patriotic. I went to the Meyer Gardens on Thursday and really had a great time there, as I always do. And this evening, while we're taping the show here, you can hear the fireworks going off in the distance. And I live kind of on a hill where you can look out and see some of the fireworks in the distance. The Grand Rapids fireworks are going to be awesome this year, and they are Saturday the 5th. And this evening, or yesterday evening, the 3rd, they had the fireworks in places like Caledonia and also in South Haven. And there are a lot of people there in South Haven. A beautiful evening there to be watching the fireworks. All right, let's talk weather for a little bit here. First of all, we want to welcome the viewers from our affiliate Ottawa News Network. So thank you so much for those of you in Grand Haven, Allendale, the Holland area that are listening to us or catching us through the Ottawa News Network. All right, taking a look at severe weather across the area here during the day today. This 4th of July, we have a marginal risk area that runs from Canada down into western Kansas. The main threat there will be isolated damaging winds, covers much of Minnesota, including Minneapolis and Duluth. And you can see that light green is a general thunderstorm outlook, not severe, and that covers a good portion of the state of Michigan. So it's not impossible that as we get towards evening today, there could be an isolated, very isolated shower or thunder shower. Chance of rain in any one spot's only about 10 or 15%. Okay, let's take a look at Saturday then. This is fireworks for Grand Rapids. I think we're okay here. You can see two marginal risk areas, one running from Lake Superior on down to northeast Kansas City area, and another one from southeast Montana all the way down to the Oklahoma Panhandle. And of course, more scattered non-severe thunder showers in the southeastern U.S. as well. So if you were to draw a line from Benton Harbor over to around Escoda, if you're north of that line here for Saturday, there could be an isolated thunder shower, but again, most areas will likely stay dry. We could use some rain around here, by the way. All right, we're going to take a quick moment out and thank our sponsors, starting with Complete Care Concierge. Here's Michelle.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Our sunrise time comes at 6:09. We have lost 6 minutes of daylight in the morning and 1 minute during the evening. Our sunset time coming at 9:24. And those are times for Grand Rapids. If you're over in Muskegon, you get about a 3-minute difference, so about 6:12 and 9:27 if you're over in the Muskegon or Whitehall Montague area. Average high and low stands at 83 and 62. Record high temperature for the 4th of July, 100 degrees, and that was hit in 1897 and also 1911, and 45, the lowest we've ever been, and that was in 1972. We'll take a look right now at the high temperatures for Thursday, and I always like looking at these. It's interesting. There used to be a big difference between the lakeshore and inland. Not quite so much now because the lake water temperatures have warmed up. We made it up to 88 in Grand Rapids and Sturgis, 87 Kalamazoo, 85 in Battle Creek. And by the way, we've been pointing out the past few days how it's been a couple degrees cooler down along I-94 where they've had some rain. And yesterday they had another quarter of an inch of rain in Battle Creek. We've had so many instances here where the heaviest rain has been around Battle Creek. Battle Creek did get over 7 inches of rain during the month of June, and the corn is really growing down there, I'm told. Look at the temperature at the South Haven Lighthouse. Temperature at 81 degrees, though much of the day the wind was coming in off the water. Water temperature at the South Haven Beach is 75, so that's why you don't have much of a difference there. Holland Beach had a high temperature of 79, and the Muskegon Pier, that's way out at the end where the light is at the end of the pier, the breakwater there, they had a high temperature of 75. And if you're going to be over at Lake Michigan during the day tomorrow, waves are going to be around 6 inches to a foot, and it should be a pretty nice day. All right, we'll take a look at our rainfall across the area and look at where the yellow stands out. First of all, to the north over toward the state of Minnesota. Next 3 days on the wet side there'll be some rain in New England, and look at the rain across Florida. There's a stalled system down there that we're going to talk about here in just a minute, but a good amount of rain there. And look at the moisture in the high plains from Texas all the way up toward North Dakota and all the way out west. I mean, it's raining in eastern Oregon a little bit there, and in Arizona, and also in West Texas. And of course, they're grateful for getting the rain, and the clouds help keep them a little bit cooler here at this time of year. Zooming into Michigan, this is the rain that's going to be falling here generally Sunday afternoon on a 62-hour rainfall map. And you can see thunderstorms will be coming out of Milwaukee and Green Bay and Wisconsin, and then into Michigan. So I would suspect that out of the 66 hours, it's that last 6 hours that's probably going to be bringing most of the rain that you see here on this map. All right, we'll move on here and talk tropical weather for a little bit. Look at the Florida area. There's a disturbed area down there where there's a frontal system stalled, and the Hurricane Center every day has been increasing the chance of a tropical storm forming by about 10% each day. We are currently up to 60%, which is better than 50-50, not a sure thing. But if you are especially along the coastline, now this is not going to turn out to be a major hurricane or anything like that, but the coastline areas, especially from Charleston off to the northeast, through the Outer Banks area, could be some significant rains and the possibility for some gusty winds, and probably not the best weather to be outdoors as that develops here over the next several days. In the Pacific side here, southwest of Mexico, Hurricane Flossie was actually a major hurricane for about 6 hours, and then really died fast as it moved over cooler water. It went from a hurricane to like nothing in 24 hours. And the red X that you see there in that hatched area, that's where the next tropical storm is going to form. That one will be called Gil, and it will be far enough offshore that it will not produce any flooding, significant flooding on the Mexican coastline. Could be some showers there and maybe a day with some gusty winds, but really shouldn't create much of a problem there at all. And take a look out in the west. This is interesting. This is a satellite picture, and the brown areas indicate where it's clear. Look how much of Australia is seeing sunshine. We saw that yesterday. In Africa, there's a band of thunder showers through like South Sudan. But if you get up into Egypt, sunny, Saudi Arabia, sunny, the Arab Emirates, sunny, and Madagascar down there, that big island off to the east of Africa, sunny. They've got the monsoon going on in India and Pakistan, where they're appreciative for the rains and the clouds to cool them off. We have no areas of any development in the Indian Ocean. In the Pacific Ocean, there was MUN, M-U-N, which stayed well east of Japan, and it is dying out and will disappear. And then a new tropical storm will be developing where the circle, that red circle is there. That one should become a typhoon, and it will be heading pretty close to Taiwan. So if you have any interest there, you certainly want to keep an eye on things. All right, let's move on and take a look at headlines here. Hot weather today, hot weather tomorrow. Slight chance for a thunder shower this afternoon. A better chance for a storm will come Sunday afternoon or early Sunday night. And again, the next several days, it will be a little cooler near the lake. So if you want a little bit of relief, pick out a beach and head there, or maybe do some shopping. The air-conditioned little shops in places like South Haven, Holland, Grand Haven, Muskegon, Pentwater, Ludington. Great places to spend a warm summer afternoon. All right. Taking a look right now at our lake forecast. We're looking for waves to be calm to 2 feet. Water temperatures continue to warm up. We got some 74s there. The South Haven buoy remained at 75. Reed's Lake and most inland lakes are in the low 80s, so really pleasant weather for swimming in those inland lakes. And let's go on now and we'll take a look at today's weather across the area. High temperature inland should approach 90 degrees during the afternoon after an early morning low of 63. Not super warm at night, so it cools off enough so you leave the windows open, it cools off just a little bit. We've been enjoying a half moon in the sky, and if you get up right around or before sunrise, you can see the bright planet Venus shining off toward the east. Humidity is down to 50% during the afternoon, winds south to southwest at around 10 miles an hour. Should be a warm but pleasant afternoon. And taking a look at some high temperatures across the area for the next 3 days. During the day today, temperatures will be up into the mid to upper 80s to near 90 degrees. I'm going a little higher than this map right here. But look at even the Mid-Lake buoy gets up to 82. That's probably a couple degrees too high, but it just shows you the heat. Chicago at 93, Green Bay at 89, mid-upper 80s over toward the Detroit area. And up in the UP, yellow areas indicate where temperatures are going to be in the 80s. Even at the Lake Superior shoreline, temperatures should be warming up. But if you go way out in the lake, look at the top lake there. There's I think that's Michipicoten Island maybe, where the temperature there should only reach 58 degrees. If you like a place to really cool off, that would be the place for it. All right, we'll go on to Saturday, and Saturday is a big heat day for us, and we'll see temperatures up into the low 90s, 92 for Grand Rapids, Greenville, and Kalamazoo. If you're at South Haven, about 86 degrees there, 92 for Detroit, 97 for Chicago. Can you believe that? So anybody heading down there for the weekend, stay hydrated down there. It's going to be a scorcher of a weekend down in Chicago. 92 for Milwaukee, 78 the high temperature on Sunday. We'll go to Sunday here, 78 degrees there on Sunday up in Traverse City. We're in mid-80s here in Grand Rapids and held down a little bit because of the clouds and some incoming showers, thunder showers. If you're traveling east, it's going to be warm. Sunday, 93 for Detroit and 93 for Toledo. A little bit cooler as you head to the west, some more comfortable air starting to come in. You can see Milwaukee there at 83. And 70s up into the UP with the wind turning north off Lake Superior. We're only in the mid-60s on the beach there at Muskegon for Sunday afternoon. Okay, taking a look at the 5-day forecast, close to 90 in inland areas this afternoon, 63 during the early morning. Parade's looking good early this 4th of July. 94 on Saturday. That'll be the warmest day of the bunch here in Grand Rapids, especially where we haven't had much rain. A lot of the sun's energy will be going toward heating the air. And warmer at night, 72 here on Saturday and 73 on Sunday. We got the chance of rain on Sunday at 60%. It is not a sure thing, but most areas can certainly use some rain. So hope there's not too many complaints about that. We're down to 20% probably only during the morning here on Monday. So the Monday softball and the golf leagues ought to be in good shape. And temperatures will be cooling off. We're only low to mid 80s here Monday and Tuesday, probably temperatures in the 70s right along the immediate lakeshore. And the daily update on the 8 to 14 day forecast shows below average temperatures in the plains where there's going to be showers and storms, and slightly above average high at 83. So we're probably looking at average high temperatures of around 85 here for mid-July. And we'll take that. Nice summer weather across the area. Look at how cool Alaska is going to be. You know, very often Alaska and the central U.S. are the opposites. So if one is hot, the other's cool. So, and you can see that Alaska is a big state, and most of the states seeing some pretty cool temperatures here for mid-July. Okay, we'll go on to rainfall for the 8 to 14 day period, July 11th through the 17th. Near average in Michigan, above average off to the south through the Ohio River Valley. Still above average in southern Arizona and southeastern New Mexico, but back to near normal in Florida. So that's interesting there. So once again, to summarize the weather for you, I think we'll be seeing temperatures here close to 90 this afternoon, into the low 90s here on Saturday, and our best bet for rain will come on Sunday. Well, some interesting information from Michelle, who got called into work at the airport yet. She's working today. So Michigan wasn't a state yet, of course, 1776. We had been part of New France, which existed from 1534 to 1763. Isn't that interesting? The state of Michigan was New France for almost as long as it's been in the United States. In 1763, the French were defeated in the French and Indian War, which was French plus the Indians versus Britain. And then region ceded to Britain, but Michigan was effectively under Quebec. After the Revolutionary War, the Treaty of Paris, 1783, expanded U.S. borders, and Michigan became part of the U.S. Northwest Territory, which was 5 states. It was Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. The Territory of Michigan was established in 1805, and we reached statehood in 1837. Very interesting little historical notes there from Michelle. On July 1872, this U.S. president was born in Vermont, and I know it already just based on that one sentence. The White House Historical Association says that his political genius was his talent for effectively doing nothing. We understand that his favorite song was Bachman-Turner Overdrive, Taking Care of Business, because he was doing nothing all day. If you know the answer, you're cool, and we're talking about Calvin Coolidge. We tried to get to his grave site in Vermont. I wanted to see that. He has a normal grave in a little cemetery, and all it's got is his name with the birth date and the date of his passing, and that's it. There's nothing fancy there, no flags or anything like that. He was a very modest and quiet fellow. Most people approved of him. The economy was rolling along. That was before we got into Hoover and the decline of the Great Depression in 1929. But Calvin Coolidge, we salute your birthday. All right, let's go on to talk about 2 U.S. presidents who died on July 4th, 1826, and I know the answer to this already. They were 90 years old and 83. Now, 90 years old in 1826 was an old man, that's for sure. And 83 years old, one was a Federalist and one was a Democratic Republican. The one that was president first lived longer. The one that was president first lived longer. One of them is on the nickel and the $2 bill. Who's got a guess? Anybody got a guess about that? Somebody looking for a nickel real fast to see? The answer is John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Interesting. And they died on the same day. Isn't that amazing? The quirk of fate. All right, let's move on and talk, see what else we got here for you. July 4, 1870, July 4th became a federal holiday, paid holiday for federal employees from 1941 on. So that's fairly recent. You know, from starting out in 1776, it took till 1941 to get a paid holiday for federal employees. Interesting. So appreciate that. And of course, it falls on a Friday, so we get a nice 3-day weekend this year. All right, let's go on here. And this is interesting. This is the Stars and Stripes Forever. I'll tell you something interesting about that song. John Philip Sousa, his last name is S.O. and then USA. Isn't that kind of interesting? My father-in-law was in the state high school band and got to play the piccolo part in the Stars and Stripes Forever. And the reason he took up the piccolo was so he could play the Stars and Stripes Forever and get to stand up and be the star playing the piccolo. So it's kind of interesting. I remember my father, who played the drums and had lots of drums, complained at the end when he was in his 80s and he was still playing drums. He said, if I'd have known I was going to be in my 80s, I would have taken up the piccolo instead of the drums. It would have been easier to carry it around. And I don't know, I think I've mentioned this before. My dad had bought a hearse, like funeral type hearse, to carry his drums around in. So he would show up at gigs, with this black hearse, and inside they would have his drums. So it's interesting. All right, Stars and Stripes Forever, written in 1896, the National March of the United States, as of 1897, first performed at the Philadelphia Academy of Music. back when theaters and circuses used to be very popular. They would come in and tour around. You don't get much of that anymore. But back when theaters and circuses had house bands, the tune was a secret code signaling the life-threatening emergency. The secret code was used during the Hartford, Connecticut circus fire in 1944. There were 167 fatalities. Ouch, boy, that was a tragedy. But we salute John Philip Sousa, the March King, he is called. Wrote the Stars and Stripes Forever and many other famous marches. Okay, this is from Sally. Thought you would enjoy pictures that my daughter took July 2nd at Holland State Park from the beach campground. The beach campground is on the north side of the channel. The lighthouse is on the south side of the channel, by the way. Our beautiful evening turned rather ominous, looking within a couple of hours. We always enjoy watching how quickly the weather can change at the lakeshore, and that is very much true. Wind direction is very important. What was the did I write down the temperature at the channel today? Let's see. Holland Beach Channel was 79. There's a weather station right there, which you can see right at the edge of the channel before it goes out in Lake Michigan. There's a weather station there with the anemometer spinning around like that. And they made it up almost to 80 during the day today. And Sally says, happy 4th of July weekend. So same to you, Sally, and thanks so much for the pictures that you've been allowing us to share here. Okay, more pictures to share with you. We've got this from John Doherty up in Benzie County. I'm looking at that picture and I'm saying, I bet that's a sunset instead of a sunrise, just based on the nature of the clouds I'm looking at. A couple of different layers there. And very pleasant picture. Of course, the days are long up in Benzie County and the sun doesn't set at the very few days. The first week of July, the sun is setting at around 9:30 when the last tip of the sun disappears over a totally flat horizon. And we have one more picture, I think, to show you from John Scully, who sends us lots of nice pictures. Isn't that pretty? Look at all the different colors, the soft colors of sunset over by Lake Michigan. John has been busy making peanut butter sandwiches. There's so many people who volunteer to do something, and of course, those sandwiches go for the homeless and those people who are in need. But there are so many people like John who do a wonderful work and help out our fellow man. And we want to take time and salute them and thank you so much for what you do. You don't get on the nightly news every night, but there's hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people every day helping to make this community, this state, a better place. So thank you, John. And we end, as we always do, with a picture of me in my winter coat. We never got around to changing that, did we? We have to think about that. But thank you so much. And once again, happy birthday, USA. Have yourself a wonderful day and a great weekend.